Blessed day, everybody. Welcome to What the Boot. And this video is going to be a little less formal, a little less succinct. Uh, I had a question posted to me and asking in regards to someone he's trying to consider whether or not he wants to go to the Marine Corps or into the Army, and saying, "Hey, what can some tips in regards to when you want to pick which branch you want to join?" When it comes to picking, several things that would be considered is the institution itself and what you want to gain out of it. All right. I can attest to the Marine Corps myself, and of course, I'm going to recommend the Marine Corps because it is the best branch, and yeah, we are better than everybody else, and yeah, we have an ego, and we can prove it, and our history has proven it. But it's what you want out of it. What can each branch give to you? Each one has its own strengths. So like the Air Force. Air Force will force you to do college in the enlisted to get promoted. Marine Corps ain't gonna do that. Navy's probably not gonna do that. Army's not gonna do that either, depending on what you do. So it kind of depends on what you want to achieve out of it, what kind of career you want. If you want to make it a career in, like for me, I have a experience in the infantry. So when it comes to that, my reason for joining honestly had to do with the fact that I wanted to get some while the getting was still good. Okay, what branch better to go for? Well, obviously there's only two branches, Army or the Marine Corps. And so, well, I like the idea of coming back home alive. So I chose the Marine Corps. And that's also because the Marine Corps has a very illustrious history. Not saying the other branches don't, but the Marine Corps has its own subculture within it. All right, it means something to be a Marine. It's not I soldier, I am soldier, I am sailor, I am Air Force, I am Navy, I am Army, I am a Marine, I am Marine, I am a Marine. This institution has such a rich history. It is rich in history and accomplishments of Marines who have come before us. And we have just, as an institution, built upon that and built upon it and built upon it. And that's something that one has to consider if you're thinking about going in the Marine Corps. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to always make sense? No. And are you going to deal with a lot of BS? Oh, yeah, you will deal with a lot of it. But you're going to deal with a lot of it in all branches. Navy has its BS, Air Force, Army, but it's also looking into what advantages do the branches give you. What kind of education can you get? What kind of life skills can you get? What kind of leadership skills, management skills, certifications? How much schooling and college education can you get? And how easy is it to do it in the branches? Like tuition assistance. That's a lot easier to do when you're in the Air Force. Perhaps rather simple to do in the Army. Mind you, that's probably anything other than infantry. And then when it comes to the Marine Corps and the Navy, notoriously no, that's on your time kind of branches. Like if you want to use tuition assistance, yes, you can use it, but that's on your time. And by the time you have your time, you kind of really want to relax. So it kind of depends. All right, like the Navy has a very different environment than the Marine Corps. Where being an officer matters, and the officers have a institution that's kind of, not to besmirch the Navy, but it's a case of do as I say, not as I do, whereas the Marine Corps is very much a do as I do and do as I say kind of place. And the Army, I'll be honest, didn't when I was in. We usually would always poke fun of them. The only ones that we actually gave any kind of respect to would be Green Berets, Delta Special Forces. We gave Special Forces respect, and I think the 82nd and 101st Airborne. That's who else we gave respect to, just because of their history. Outside that, kind of just talked smack on everybody else, to be quite honest. But to kind of be a little bit more succinct, look into what you want to achieve. What do the branches have to offer you? What skills can you get out of it? What can translate into civilian life? Infantry isn't really good for translating into civilian life. Great when it comes to task management, people management, though you tend to be a little bit more of a sandpaper kind of person. But it does help you to learn how to take on stressful situations, be decisive, and take charge of situations. But then again, that's a kind of a Marine Corps thing as an institution. Doesn't mean all Marines do it well, but it is as an institution. That's kind of the thing. Make a decision, all right? And so you got to look at it from that perspective. Now, this is not going to be really in-depth, but it's very much, hey, I want to go Army. I want to Marine Corps. Well, which one has a better history in your viewpoint? Which one has things that you want? Like, if you want to do infantry stuff, I'll go Marine Corps. If you want to do anything else that has to do with life skills, or like skills in the trades, or like certifications, like forklifting, engineering, electrician, plumbing, freaking engineer. No, go to the Army. They will put you through a bunch of schools. Heck yeah, but you won't have that culture either. You won't really have that illustrious culture, but they do tend to provide a lot of things. There's a lot of Marines who will go from the Marine Corps over the Army, and that's also a path you can do. You can go Marine Corps, go for a little while, 1-2 tours, then hop over to the Army, because as far as you're concerned, this is whatever the BS on this side is kind of cakewalk compared to what I could have been doing in the Marine Corps. Or stay in the Marine Corps and stay it out. But also, my recommendation to you is, if you're going to be doing that, aim for 8 years. Have that mentality 8 years. Do your first tour, do your second tour. Take advantage of what they have to offer. Take advantage of it. They have all kinds of training. Take the initiative. Apply yourself. Do things. Doesn't really matter. All the branches have these things. All of them. It's all up unto you whether or not you're going to take advantage of it. Learn as much from it. Gain as much as that, and give back as much as you can. All right? So if you're going to do Army, go to Marine Corps, do your research. Look at their history. Look at their accomplishments. All right? Look at the culture in there. Marine Corps has a different culture than the Army, distinctly different from everybody. Because the Army is very different in of its own self. Now, but I don't have enough knowledge about that Army to really give them a fair shake. I have enough about the Navy, in which I don't have very positive viewpoints on it. Though they do have a lot of positivity in there. There's a lot of good things in the Navy. Though as an institution, I kind of have gripe with them because, well, I honestly think the Marine officers are superior to Navy officers because, well, Marine officers need to set the example. So it's do as I do, follow my lead, and I will show you what I want you to do, and then I will hold to that same standard. Maybe there's a lot of good officers, but I tended to see it another way. There's a lot of officers that kind of grimy, to be quite honest. They do change. Most of them tend to change, or they get out of the way, but didn't really care for them. But either way, Air Force, let's be honest, their nickname is the Chair Force, so they tend to be considered a little opulent. Marines tend to be the grunt, grimy people, so you'll get used to being uncomfortable, and then you'll also take a little bit of pride in that. So considering that there's a lot of history in the Marine Corps, a lot of history in all the branches, you need to do your research. You need to look into it. That's what's on you. The onus is on you. All right. Obviously, I'm going to say go to the Marine Corps. Go do that. Go be a Marine. At the very least, you'll be able to talk smack to everybody else just for being a Marine. Doesn't really matter what your MOS is or military operations specialty. Doesn't matter. You're a Marine, which means you've done something that none of them have done. So talk smack. Have fun. You're a Marine. That's what we do. Yes, we achieve things. All right. All right. Hey, thank you for coming in. If you have any other questions, and hopefully to the one who asked me this question, hopefully this answers your question and is of benefit to you. And for those of you who else ever given consideration like that, hopefully this video does help you. All right. If it does, leave a like. If you found this entertaining or found it informative, leave a like. Leave it down in a comment if you have your questions yourself or considerations. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a blessed day.